Good morning, dear friends. We're streaming live from Bern today. This is the third live streaming and a series of discussions that we have at the World Council of Churches Media Corner. We are at the International Conference on Armenian Heritage. Experts on international law, theologians, very prominent church leaders from around the world are focusing on the case of Armenia, the people of Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, while we're exploring at the same time conflicts around the world in which we're able to find common patterns, mechanisms in terms of application of the international law. And this morning we have the joy of hosting at the Media Corner a very distinguished guest, Metropolitan Gabriel of Nea Ionia and Philadelphia from the Church of Greece. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning, Your Eminence.
Thank you, Xanthi. Good morning.
Some information about His Eminence. He is, of course, a senior hierarch in Greece, but among the youngest, allow me to say, hierarchs in terms of age in the Holy Synod. He's very widely known in Greece for his connection with youth, a very authentic connection, and also for his international ecumenical advocacy on human rights and human dignity. Of course, he's very well known for his theological clarity as well. As someone coming from Greece, a country that has also experienced cultural loss and displacement repetitively throughout its history, he brings valuable insights into this specific conference that focuses on Artsakh. Your Eminence, what is the role of the Church when sacred heritage sites are under threat, especially in conflict zones like Artsakh? Do you see the Church as a spiritual actor, as a historical guardian? And how can churches actually respond in this attempt for cultural erasure? We have so many commonalities in the cases between Greece and Armenia, but...
Thank you, Xanthi, for the question. I think this is a very good point of view in order to give many responses to the people that they are wondering in Greece and elsewhere. What really is the role of the World Council of Churches? Mm-hmm. This is a very unique opportunity to show to our people that being part of this fellowship of churches gives us the possibility to have a voice for issues that has to do with violation of human rights. And as you already mentioned, Greeks and Armenians, we have a common history. We have witnessed our own genocides, Armenians 1915, Greeks 1999, 1922. So our common history gives us this, if I may say, we are obliged to not only not forget, but to participate in any kind of similar events in order to raise up awareness and speak to the public about the violation, as I said, of human rights, not only cultural, but also for human lives. We see that in the situation of Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, many people are still in hostage status. We have to struggle for them, becoming their voices, and say to the public community, together with all the member churches of our fellowship, that we have to stand for them in solidarity. So this is what we're trying to do here. And from the point of view of the church, not only spiritually praying for them and create awareness, but also try to see how we can convince our governments, let's say for my context, for Greece, to participate to these efforts, be in alliance with the Swiss government. That we have been heard that already a motion has been produced in the parliament of the Swiss government concerning the protection of Armenian heritage, which is something of a great importance. And really, there are so many things that we can combine actions, working together, not only as civil society actors, as we have been called, but as churches, by giving this very strong message of witness of people that are suffering, and they need our protection, and they need our efforts to become their voices.
Your Eminence, from your extensive experience in the ecumenical work in general, you connect daily with so many people around the world, also with politicians and leaders. Where do you place faith-based organizations nowadays in terms of international diplomacy? Do you really believe that we can have tangible impact, specific impact, in terms of a specific political discourse, a conflict case, We see issues connected to the human survival at the center of the discussion right now, like climate justice, migration, of course, displacement. Our church is moving at the periphery, or the message that you are able to pass is also essential and meaningful.
Sometimes people believe that, and this is very disappointing, that we have no power at all. This is very false. And why it's not the truth? Because we have a very specific power, which is hope, and hope is through belief, through faith. If you believe in God, then you will never lose your faith, you will never lose your hope. So we start by this initial point, which I believe it's the most important. Now, every church, let's speak about Church of Greece, by being a member state of the European Union, you know very well that we have Article 16 that provides us a possibility in the Lisbon Treaty to have a dialogue with the European Union institutions concerning any issue of violation of human rights. So there are many instruments, many weapons, if I may say, that we have in our hands that we can raise up our voices and try to put pressure for similar issues. But this is not only the role of the church. As you very well said, spiritually, the first role that we have is to influence people in terms of not losing their hope. So we have to say to the people openly that whatever they are suffering from, we are next to them. We are praying to God to give them strength. And first of all, we are praying to God to give strength to all of us. What you are doing here today, what we're doing, all of us today, we must be strong because all of us were facing our daily problems, and we need to overcome them, overpass them in order to continue to do our ministry and our mission. So I think if we touch the issues in these dimensions, so we can understand that there is a very tangible influence, and we can really achieve things by maintaining our faith, not losing our hope, and use all the instruments that we have in our hands in order to convince people for the opposite.
Yes, and this is a question that comes repetitively from our audience as well about the role of FBOs. We see it in International Geneva as well. But what we say is that the world problems are so complex at this stage that this holistic approach is the only way. No actor internationally can find a solution alone.
I have witnessed in the plenary of all the very esteemed attorneys that spoke about the issues referring to the international law, and all of them, they have the same outline, that we have sometimes we see that there is a dead end. So if they can say that, so let's see what we can say more. And the thing that we can say more is not losing our faith and keep going, keep doing our efforts in order to achieve whatever we can.
Of course, all the intersectionalities that you're able to see. And we say that when international law actually completes its mission, then it's time for solutions like as if the churches are the voice of consciousness in the international system. And shall we conclude again with the question that comes again with Greeks and Armenians in general? There are deep historical parallels between the Armenian experience with the genocide of more than 1,500,000 people historically. Going back to the history of Greece, we would have the massacres of more than 300,000 Pontic Greeks, and even more than 700,000 Greeks in general historically. How can this shared legacy or trauma, I would say, and resilience become like a foundation, I would say, of solidarity? And do you recognize a certain level of specific responsibility in the Greek politicians and Greek people in general to stand in solidarity with the people of Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh?
Let's share with our audience that the Greek government in 1996 has officially recognized by the parliament, by a very unanimous vote, the genocide of the Armenians, and of course the genocide of the Greeks from Pontus, as you already mentioned. So in terms of the Greek context, we have done our best, and we will continue to do our best in order not to forget. And especially speaking by my context, being a metropolitan in a diocese that has refugee people, being the flock of my diocese, people that comes from Asia Minor especially, and they came to Greece in 1923, 1924. So first of all, we try to say to the young generation not to forget who we are, not to forget our roots, and let's do our best in order not to witness the same genocide as we did in 1923, 1924. And as an example, I would like to say what's going to take place in Greece this coming Friday. His Holiness Patriarch Aram from the Holy See of Cilicia will come to Greece, and we will present his book about the Armenian Church in the place of the Lord Parliament, together with previous president of PASOK, Mr. Venizelos. And this is a truth in the grassroots, how we really deal the Armenian people and how we really deal all the issues of genocides. So the terms that Greeks and Armenians are doing so many things together, I think it's a very strong proof and a very strong element that we are in the same line of history and we live in solidarity with them.
Thank you for this message of hope to the Armenian people and the Greek people as well. And we will be very happy at the World Council of Churches Communications to cover the event this Friday as well and publish articles at the website and social media. Thank you so much, and all the best as you continue your service in Greece and globally as well.